But I guess.
No, it's decent. No.
Yeah.
That was my thought process with that one. Am I finishing up right now?
And a lot of people didn't know what a procedure was. Number 19, these 18, 19, and 20. A lot of persons they were confused. So we visit that.
18, 19, and 20.
I had like 1 or 2 persons that got all 3 right. Most persons got 1 right or
What's that is?
18, 19, and 20. Policy, procedure, and then rule.
Oh, I did. I did.
Ready? What's your name?
Giuseppe. Oatmeal and oatmeal, apple, cinnamon. Oatmeal, apple, cinnamon. Anybody else want? But two. I'm coming around. But two. I don't want to do that. No, everybody else. Tell me your first. Wrong book? Number 2. Look at it. Number 2. That's what it is. I was going to say that. Okay, good job. You just want to smell it?
I don't want.
Or you only want one to smell it?
No, I know. I saw the smell it first.
Okay. We can. It's simple? Okay. Simple. Sure. Don't take you.
Too hot. Like I promise you.
Miss Ballard,
Yes,
you included in the food. You want a cookie?
No, thank you. Thank you very much. You all want to start or we give them 5 minutes? You all look like the start. We gotta start this, we gotta go. Okay. Okay. Wait. How did that be so far? It was just 3:17. 3:17. Afternoon. Great. Okay, Tiffany Monka. Okay, so first, she had a long day. We gotta make this short and sweet. She ready to go. she trying to. Yeah. Okay, keep it in prayer. Straighten up. That's what you have to do. Help one another. Okay, so we left off talking about goals. Everybody knows what a goal is, right?
You want what our version or
Yeah, just know, yeah, I don't want the book. I want the understanding. Because we're moving towards midterm now. So, take these definitions now and put them in an essay. Remember, y'all had those short answer questions? So we got some short answer questions, some multiple choice, 1 or 2 essays. Let's put these, what is a goal?
chapter 1, yeah?
All right, so we on that's chapter 12, no, chapter 3. So the last pages on chapter 3, we talked about goals. We know that the goals are generated primarily from the company's mission statement, their values, what they hope to achieve, what type of products and services that they offer. But we know that we set goals at the beginning of the year. We want to set SMART goals. We want them to be specific. We want them to be measurable. We want them to be attainable. We want them to be time sensitive. I don't want a goal that you go achieve 3 years from now and you get a performance appraisal every year that attached to your bonus and you can't get it for the next 3 years. Right? That'll make no sense. Okay? And then we also don't want to be wishy-washy. If we have to change a goal halfway through the year, if the economy crashes, if the targets are not realistic any longer, we want to look at them halfway through the year. We want to adjust them. Pardon? Companies don't do that, but this is why we're here, to be trained properly on what you do and how you treat people. Right? And remember, part of your homework, not a written homework, but just so y'all can come ready for discussion, was to how do you create a job or an atmosphere where people really want to work. They happy coming to work, no more burnt out, no more dragging to and from work every day. Remember, because now we mentoring persons, we can't be the doom and gloom, and we trying to keep them encouraged. Right? Excellent. Good smile on your face. Very good. I mean, you pretending, but it's at least you're wearing it on your shoulder. Don't wear the Bible say don't expose it. Don't wear it on your shoulder. Okay, but I just want to make sure that we understand all of that. Okay. All right. So we make them smart. We make them measurable. We make them timely. Then we rate these goals. So we write them down in January. Every 3 months, we have one-on-ones with our staff. We coach them. We help them. Where are you with your target? Your target, a lady in the back said, $2 million. If you ain't even at $1 million yet, and you need to be at this June, this is the time right now where we need to start having conversations. How can I assist you? What can I do to help? We are the supervisor. We want to provide solutions. Right? And so a lot of times the performance appraisal event is doom and gloom. People mad for days. They don't want to talk. The attitude start, blah, blah, blah. We want to change all of that, okay? And so today we're going to talk about counseling. Because we want to supervise these people. We in charge of them at work. And so therefore we create solutions. Right? So who read the last chapter on chapter 12, the last pages on counseling? And remember there are 5 steps. I said to make sure I get those 5 steps.
I got 2 questions.
Sure.
You said your goals are based off of the company's mission statement?
No, okay, so the company, where it says the company has a vision, they have a mission statement, they have values. So all of this combined.
Okay.
Right? And so for different areas, then each department, like credit, should have their set goals and targets.
And
operations.
You said to make them timely.
You make SMART. SMART is the acronym.
Okay.
Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. Right? And we talked about metrics. So that's the measurable. Like the tellers have, you cannot exceed $250 for the year. We know where we at. We could say in our performance feedback, we could say the goal is not to exceed $250 worth of differences for the year. I'm at 2%. At the end of the year, that's excellent. Right? If you at 50%, that's average. But if you at less than 50 and 20%, at the end of the year, that's excellent. You should give that person a high rating for that particular goal, because that's normally a standalone goal by itself. If they say attain $2 million in sales, these are the 10 products that we sell. I know one year when I was in sales, they said, "Oh yeah, you did achieve the goal, but you didn't sell any credit cards." I said, "What?
The goal is
The goal wasn't specific to sell 20 or 30 credit cards. The goal was to meet the $2 million mark. I met that mark, and so here it is now, where I feel, hey, there's a wishy-washy situation. These people ain't trustworthy. I gotta fight for this bonus, because remember now, this rating is attached to how much money you get. You can't get the rating without the money."
so. Good question. The teller. So the tellers, do tellers get your teller? Your bonus is based on your performance throughout the year. Do you get bonuses? And that's based on your rating from your ACR, or
They say yes, but in reality, no.
So they drum you down when it comes, because they know if they give her, it's normally low performing, high performing, and then superior. It's like 4 or 5 categories, or they have numbers 1 to 5. If they give you a 1 or a 2, they tell you no bonus for 1s or 2s. Everybody has to, at Royal Bank, this is, have to meet. At meet, you get the lowest bonus. For a teller, that would probably been $1,500.
Oh,
But if you
send me
got-
where that is, please.
I'm still planning.
You want to send me
No.
where that is?
If you got high performing, you'd probably get $2,500. If you got superior,
wow.
you probably got $3,000 as a teller.
You're downsizing now, Jesus.
Okay, when I was a manager at Trust, I used to get like $15,000 and $20,000 for getting
And
outstanding.
you used to get
Capital Markets, my friend got $30,000 when she met at Capital Markets.
I gonna need you.
That's met.
Ask me
Wow.
to
No,
class.
Capital Markets.
My annual salary.
Yeah, Trust.
You say
Trust-
almost?
No, Trust and Capital Markets,
Almost.
they pay more. They pay way more, and then they on. Remember this network now. The accountant, the real estate person, whatever, they go out and they travel, and they drum in business. And so you could travel the world, but you cannot spend more than 25% of the amount of business you bring in. And you had to bring in 10 clients a year, right? And so if you bring in one $25 million client, you travel around the world for the rest of the year. Plus you get your bonus.
Okay, alright.
But it ain't that easy.
Lord of mercy.
It just ain't that easy.
Just sounds
these are
pretty.
Yeah, it sounds good, but you have to be invited to that world. You don't just walk up and sell. You know what I mean? You have to be invited to the Life of Key Club, the Albany Club, Imperial Club, Ocean Club. Those you don't just walk up and yeah. So the bank normally pays for 3 executives. So and that's like $50,000 a year. They pay for the CEO and the 2 top salespersons to go and join these clubs. And then the people just be like, meet them in Canada, meet them in Australia, meet them. They don't come, Swiss people. Good afternoon. They work in offshore, so they know. But Tech Day has a full chef on staff and a wine cellar. You don't meet Swiss people without giving lunch or brunch or whatever. They've insulted. So if you invite them to your office to sit down at your desk and ask them to open up an account with you, down the drain. Right. So you have to invite them. So when you invite them to lunch, you want them to do business with them, you send them the menu. You send them the wine cellar list and they choose which wine you know what I mean? Or they invite you on their yacht or the Great Cliff. Or one customer had to go play tennis with his wife. I look like I can play tennis. I had to go and buy a whole outfit. I had to buy a whole outfit to go to Ocean Club to play tennis with his wife. But I got the account open.
You wear that out.
Girl, I was running. I run from the gym, right? I was running up and down that court behind the ball. We got that account open.
Wow.
Okay? And then I had to talk to her for hours on the phone because you build a relationship. They my friends now. These are people you talk to. You are their banker. They invite you to their children's weddings and baptisms and all these different stuff. And I know if you in sales, they didn't know no more. But a couple of years ago, it was generational banking. I had to go to that baptism because when little Sonny grew up, I probably still work in the same position or whatever, and he go open up the account with me, or when they want to open up a trust fund for him, of course they coming to me.
That's true.
Right? And then I introduce them to the real estate person, to the lawyer, to the accountant, because I want to make sure nobody else out there give them a better deal than I could give them.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So that's how it works. Okay? So, I know that was long. Did I answer your question? Yeah. So, each department, so therefore, we don't want you in operations, and they giving you a $2.5 million target in sales. Right? That don't happen, right?
You're not in operation.
Okay. Or some other part of the bank. Normally they tell us you still have to get a sales, you have the help. Right? So you still refer. Yeah, the whole bank is refer, and then you normally get points. And the person with the most points at the end of the year gets a prize or something like that. It's a rewards package that they offer. Okay? Because again, the next chapter we're talking about is motivation. How do you motivate the people? There's never any money. So this point system, always like after you at certain points, you go open up a book and you pick out a ring, some jewelry, an airline ticket, all sorts of stuff they had.
Which bank is still again?
That was Royal Bank.
What?
Yeah, they had a points, a rewards type of program. Yeah. So back to the performance. So we want to make sure we give those people SMART goals. If there are changes throughout the year, because things happen over the course of the year, you make those adjustments, and you make sure that you're on track and that you helping these people achieve these goals. You don't just there to set the goal and every day and say, I hope you get 2 million or this or that, or no. You give positive feedback. Okay, and if there's something wrong, you offer. We now talking about counseling. So let's look at the back of page 12. And let's read about
Page 12 or chapter
12. Chapter 12.
Which page?
You know what I mean.
I just want to make
Keep me on track. Keep me on track. Okay.
I don't do everything.
But everybody said they were familiar with the performance rating. Right? The performance, how it works. You set goals, and then at the end of the year, you're rated against those goals. Right? And fairly rated, not, I don't like this one, or this one is do this or that. Even if they don't do the right thing. We talked about the different errors that we could make when we doing these performance appraisals, right? The halo error, what that is.
They tend to yeah, that.
What's that?
They tend to what's the word? Exaggerate. Or they
no, you are a high or low. There's no in between. So if I don't like you, I don't like you. You may have the top sales thing, but I can try and knock that down a little bit. I can say you might have met your $2 million, but you didn't do any credit cards, and so therefore I can't say that you met or exceeded it. You know, some foolishness that we come up with because this person can't be good in some areas and need some development in other areas. But no, for sure, that high or low. And then the recency error. The whole year I mess up. I meet no targets. But today I do something in the branch. The last thing I remember. And so, oh yeah, of course, that person is high performing. Or no, that person the whole year only had 5%, but today they exceed that limit. They teach that money. I writing them up. That's what I'm telling you. I was a teller supervisor for how much years? At least 3 or 4. Okay? My best teller was the one who was teaching, the one who I didn't love. Okay? All the blind people, all the people that sign X, all the elderly, all the people who can't speak English. Man, she ripped them left, right, and center. $400,000.
What?
But she was the balance every day. She was
400,000.
yes.
That's how she do that.
The blind man. She take $80,000 from a blind man.
What? So she wasn't no petty thief.
She was like thinking for herself.
For herself. One lifestyle.
Yeah.
But she's
Entries. So okay, so let me tell you what she used to do. So the people, we had a lot of people. I was at Robertson Road and Key West Street. get over it, right? So the people who assign X, their daughters and sons would fill out their slips and they would come to the bank. So they sign X, they can't read or write. So she'd scotch it out and make them initial. So if they want 200, she'd say 400 and let them initial. The same thing with the blind man. The blind man daughter used to come, drop him to the bank, leave him, sit down. He used to go through the line. Like people used to come to the bank to get the air conditioning, to get the tea, and that's about their day. You know, so they used to spend the day with us.
Yeah, that's that day.
Yeah.
You couldn't run that.
No, you couldn't. All the tea going on pension day. All the tea. But you don't get.
So who is the auditor?
He initial. They don't know what they doing.
So therefore,
This the customer can come in.
This Haitian guy came in and he couldn't speak English. So he was trying to tell me that he's sure he only stake. He said, I stake the same amount. I said, okay, you stake the same amount? I said, okay, but if you can't tell me what the same amount is that you stake, he said, I stake two. So finally, I said, you know what? I sent her. She was my best teller. Go look for these entries. Oh, I see them entries. They must be going to archives. This and that, the next thing, whatever. So one day, after I see he wouldn't stop coming, I go and I pull out every transaction, must be for 1 month, and I see every single one cross out an initial. I say, no way. And then the woman who was signing X, who lived right to the corner, her daughter come and she say, my mommy, I write the slip up. There's no way my mommy take out $500. When she come home, just what I write, $150. That's what she is give, and I just go and pay this bill back. She don't have no five. Why would she come and take $500?
Oh, wow.
You know, I pull out her slips, all her slips, whatever. But the mommy cannot say she didn't. I said, is this your initial, ma'am? Yes, that's her initial, but she didn't take no $500. So she was then the blind man. Oh Lord.
Until she get an initial and then when they go cross it out. She probably because see when you come. When my customers don't know policy and procedures like that.
Yeah.
If I tell someone that, okay, we need to sign that,
They can just do it.
they can do it. They didn't have my policy.
Yeah, so when I pull those, I sit to my desk and I cry. Because that's how much entries I did. And that's how much my best seller. Best, and I had some stinkers. I had some stinkers.
So $80,000
$80,000 from the blind man. 80. Because she used to fill out the slip for the blind man. After the daughter started just dropping him and saying, I gotta go to work or I gotta rush, whatever. Oh, I can help him. Oh, I can do this. I can do that.
How much money she stole?
$80,000 from him.
From the blind man.
From the blind man alone. His account was hit the hardest with the most. You know, but we had to pay all of that out. Royals, I got to give everybody got their money back. The ones who could explain that Asian man, he couldn't.
I feel for him.
You know?
You probably not being the monkey farm.
Yeah, but that's what they do. That's what they do. Take advantage of people who they know cannot help themselves. You know, so
That's wrong.
And especially the banking, when a customer, someone who always just come there and they get used to a certain teller, they don't have wrong with that.
yeah. But she used to say, oh, I want to do the senior citizens line. I want to, you know what I mean? She wanted to. And the young good evening. I thinking she's so good. I thinking, oh boy, everybody's saying, yes. It's like, oh Miss Bull, I can't deal with these people. I can do it then, I can do it. All that time she ripping them left, right. And I never imagined she would do it. She was so good. And all the children. Yeah.
That was the time I definitely nobody like you. I never
But that was new back in, that was in 2008, 2009. That was a new thing. You know, so
People still doing it. They still doing it still.
Yeah. Okay, so we don't want to go with these errors. We want to make sure that it's a pleasant process. Nobody's dreading coming to their performance appraisal. They should already know 80% where they stand, what rating they should be getting. Then you send that performance to them and you give feedback. Now, a lot of times, I was there, I used to be like, this woman don't like me, she don't deserve my breath. I ain't saying nothing. No, but you have to argue. Okay, because like I say, I was in that situation where I had to meet the target, exceeded the target, but then they come, but I sent no credit cards. So no, I had to write them back.
You want to call the cornerstone.
There you go. So it came across as I was angry and argumentative and whatever. So that is why. That is why before they can put you, if you already know you in a bad situation, because like I say, 16 years, I had people who love me, godparents, we go to church together every day, and people who can't stand my guts. But if you have people along, you're 20, 30 years, and they all love you, excellent. That's excellent. That's very good. But so you don't become across as argumentative or disruptive and mad. You write, details, especially if you have a target to meet. You write that I exceeded my target, I did this, I did that. Because a lot of times, especially if the supervisor, I have 10 people, they don't remember everything specifically what you do. You know? I was like, you forget when nobody wanted to file, I did all the filing. When nobody wanted to do this, it wasn't my job. We take work from Kim and I went to Miami. I write all these stuff. Okay? Because they won't remember. Especially if they don't like you. They don't remember what you do in January or February. Okay? Yeah, if you didn't do that in November, it ain't in there. So you have to put it in yourself. Okay? And that's, to me, that's what you're working on. I working hard for the bonus. The whole year. So when November comes, please, let's be on one accord. Let's not be unequally yoked. Right, ma'am? Okay. Right. Okay. So, what do you need to know about counseling employees? 5 things you need to know. And then after we find out, we'll go jump on chapter 8 about motivation. And then everybody will tell me how they create an environment where people are coming to work and they are happy. Okay? And I hope that you all did some research on it. It will be probably more than likely your essay question for your midterm.
What is it?
What can we do? Chapter 8. Anybody read chapter 8? Yeah. What does chapter 8 ask? Again, remember, it word for word.
Motivation.
What is the key to motivating a diverse workforce? Designing motivating jobs. You might have to design a job. And how do you create an atmosphere in which employees really want to work? That more than likely would be your essay question for the midterm. The midterm is on Monday.
Next week?
Next week, Monday, yes. Everybody ready, right? No surprises. Okay, and we can do a little bit of review after we finish these chapters in the next class. So you'll know how many multiple choice, or y'all just want essays and short answers.
Go ahead.
One essay or 2 essays? Or 50 multiple choice?
Yeah.
Then an essay. So save the essay for the final.
The essay could help us.
When
The essay can help you because that's supposed to if you get 50 multiple choice and you only pass 30 and that essay worth 20 points and you at least get half of that. It's still somewhere else.
anybody did any of the word search? I did the scramble. Did the scramble? Yeah, you did it? Okay, you found it helpful?
Yeah.
You found it very helpful, okay.
You know,
Listen to what the prefect say.
Just answer.
For the midterm and the final. Prefect, tell them what you did.
I did the crossword on the.
You're not doing beginning.
No, that was the first quiz.
And what did it help? Okay. Hint. Yes, okay. She gets time to do crossword puzzle. Obviously, she's there no homework. Okay. All right. We gotta make milk. Y'all got that same crossword. Everybody's complaining. You was in the class when I gave a crossword. They was dying. Well, that was God. Fair. All right, feedback. Good job. Good job. Feedback. Good job. All right.
What you said
the
question was?
Look at chapter 8. Chapter 8, when we get to it, I guess this is right here. And perhaps on counseling, she all needed to go to work in order to treat these people right. That's what this class about.
Miss Wright? Miss Wright? Miss Wright, are you listening?
This is what this class is about. You live here, and like I said, Miss Wright was tough, and she gave you a lot of work, but she was very caring. We was happy at work, and we was happy to achieve our goals. Right? She was an excellent supervisor.
I know what I is.
What's her?
I know.
Very interesting.
And the lady in the pink?
She's supervisor.
We all work together. Okay. She's a supervisor.
Supervisor, different branches.
You
Where you work?
You don't visit her branch, because I'd like you to get some feedback from her employees to make sure she.
Oh, child, I can't go to that
You
branch.
can't go to that branch.
No, mom.
I want to report on her.
I mean, they can get
But she's very vocal and very
They scared her. They can give her
I
a
hope she's
report.
sharing.
No.
Are you pouring out yourself into these people?
They love me. But they know where it's the time.
Right, yeah, you come to work. We work hard, but we play hard because you fail. And nobody coming like doom and gloom. Nobody coming like they're the worst day of their life.
They cloud or they sitting over them, but hey, not on them. But I just
Working to get the ass out of them.
I just need my work together.
Okay, good. Okay.
The answer question is?
It's 200%. Wait till we get by. I said 3 times. What do we need? Counseling. 311. Good afternoon. Counseling. Okay, who reading today? 311, yeah.
There's a page beyond.
Or in your might be 312 or 13.
What we reading now?
Okay, everybody, let's talk. She's talking about a mentee. Everybody give me an update,
My
please.
mentee hospital, I'm sick.
Okay, you can find somebody else?
She.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because that might be too much. You know.
Go, you can go.
You started anything yet? No, man, don't pressure nobody while they incapacitated. You could find somebody else?
No, Miss, let me tell Miss Bullet, my time is spent to work at home. You want me mentor my 10-year-old and my 7-month-old?
No.
I don't go, I don't have,
You don't go to church?
Help me, Jesus.
Please find somebody in your church.
I don't go to church.
Okay, but then go to church.
Yeah.
You can't just be working home.
Church people is being dangerous, you know.
This is why but men helping them. Men helping them.
Why are you laughing?
You're just saying who makes up the church? The people, the church people dangerous and you're trying to help?
Be the change, Kristen.
Okay, there you go. Be the change you want to see.
You
Let's
come
go
for
ahead.
Kiki, I too tired.
Let's go co-ed. Let's tell me about your mentee and how it's going so far. This is a short class, 7 weeks.
I can't
We
remember
are
how old. Anything, I could
if it could be effective, we don't want you to just slam bam, thank you ma'am. We want effectiveness, not the person who in the hospital.
No, she knows now. No, for true, she gone home today.
If it could be effective, man. You all sound like you're gonna come up here and tell me that
I told you, okay, like this, I have no problem.
you still build a relationship with your mentee, but you have your person. And because a lot of young men out there need help going, and you're a great role model.
You never know, man.
You never know.
You get the patience for that.
This is what you did.
No, let me tell you, I mean, it's a different, you know, like how they say women can't raise men. When a man see you going to work every day, getting up on time, paying your bills, you are a great example. Having the right attitude, being in school, that's what we need men to show that this cool. You know, they may say, oh, this ain't cool, or, no, this cool. It's very attractive to women. You're the only man in here, use the power source. You gotta make men come to class, only women in the class. Like our men is go to church, go to church. You're the only man going. This don't show you that the men need help. But you building your relationship and you documenting it. Okay, good. Okay. And you excited about it? How y'all gonna supervise these people? You think when you're reaching a position, everything is just... Yeah, but if all of you are young, so this is a part of your learning curve to get to the top.
Okay, I can ask you about something. how would you, okay, like you said, all of us are young. Some persons in my vicinity, in my area, are a bit older than me. So, and especially when, okay, you know, a lot of persons like the children's trump of education or how long, like for instance, how you say, oh, I've been in RBC 16 years ago. How do you deal with a person or individual who feels like, okay, you give them an order directive, Kristen, stop. You give them an order directive, and it's like, it gone to one ear, coming to the next, and it's like, when you, like, okay, let's say for instance, I give you something to do, and I give you a say, okay, let me know by tomorrow an update on this. And then, let's say if I forgot yesterday, and I come back with a state, it's like, oh, I was busy.
What?
It's 6 weeks and she's still in
First of
my
all,
email. So they have been talking about.
Okay, how do you deal with someone because they like to throw the thing in age and how long they been, because of course this is also someone who's been in the field that working in commercial banking like myself. So they try to show that, oh, I've been
for 20 years.
And you know, they like, so they don't like to know that, hey, I get information from a 30-something-year-old and I'm almost 50.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with, because I got on somebody.
I had the same person. Remember, I said, when they put HR under me, and she refused. You know what I mean? And so you gotta look at
my boss. And I try to tell you do something.
Yeah, but you gotta look at, see, is it worth the fight? Is it worth the fight? See, you gotta look at political competency. How many people you know? Is your company supporting? Like, are they gonna do anything about it?
First of all, does she know to do it? I'm sorry,
go ahead. Go ahead.
Does she know how to do it?
Okay, let me put it
She's
this
just
way.
not doing it.
Let me put it this way. I supervise a branch. Although I don't work for me, I don't work in that area. But again, I still know how to do it. I'll come to her, let's say for instance, it's an investigation that I need to get done. It's not like I'm not a person who can just say, Patrol, I need you to investigate Mr. Sands' account, his payment, and I need to find his $400. No. Sometimes, most of the times, I'm actually sitting there trying to help you. Like I always tell her too, be here to learn. Because like for me, I could say the company that I work for is much different from a commercial bank, except for a Canadian bank that I work for. So of course I have to learn my company way. So I always tell her, you know, we have to learn together. My boss could tell you for me, if I ain't sure about something, I can pick up the phone, I walk into his office, whatever. But I just said, as a person who's hitting a concrete wall.
Okay, but we don't live in perfect now. We don't live in perfect. We got high, medium, and low performers. And she may be good at one thing, but not up to date and current with how things work right now.
The thing about it is,
I just think it's the age thing because especially when they get ready, they like to throw that
Is your company supporting you or her? Because in my case, they was like, you know what they say? When they checked me, they was like, oh, we want you to supervise HR. We can put it under operations, this and that, and the next thing, because they couldn't deal with her. You see what I mean? And so basically, my way of handling it was I just did everything myself. You know, I took things from her that was completely out of control because she was in charge of ordering inventory. And when Joy, but listen, we used to pay somebody to come and clean, and inventory for cleaning was included. So why is she buying a case of bleach and a case of vinegar and a carpet fresh and a case of Joy? And she ain't buying the Joy from Supervisory on sale for $8.99. She buying it from Executive Coffee, $21.75.
Definitely push it in the box in the front.
One. Okay, so they couldn't control it. So I took away a lot of stuff from her, and then I tried to put her on the front desk. I was like, okay, I can put you on the front. Listen, she had a midlife. Yeah, but that's just it. She had a mid. No, but let me tell you. Yeah, but she right. So, but she had she couldn't learn. She was past the learning stage.
No, she
did everything manual.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
she's not
She was age. She just was
No,
set in her
the
ways.
person Miss Wright talking about isn't age. She's just stupid. Like she have a block.
Okay, but that's your devil.
No,
That,
she
that's
has
what you
a
gotta deal
mental
with.
block. She doesn't talk about.
Yeah, but it's your company.
Listen to nobody, you leave it alone.
Listen to me. But all you have to do is go. Don't go argumentative and go like you trying to look for a solution because you have a boss too. Tell your boss in your huddle or your one-on-one. Listen, I have this person. She's very difficult. Yeah. Yeah, no, but you just have, if you don't live in perfect, there will not be everybody in the institution that will agree with you, that will support you. Most people go out against you. You got to learn how to survive.
My thing is, right, there's first of all, when I became a supervisor, I was 24. I've had persons who were like 10, 15 years older than me. The first step the first thing I did in that role was I sat persons down in a group and individually, and I let them know what is expected. First things first. If you know how to do a job function and you refuse to do it, that's an attitude issue. That's not something that you need to be taught or trained where I can help you. If you're reluctant to do something, an instruction that I give you and you refuse to follow it, that's an attitude problem, and those behaviors need to be corrected immediately. Document, because we're not here to babysit, we had to do a job.
Yeah, but it's an old dumb person who just have a lack of respect because you're young. That's all it is.
But then my thing, like I said, you let them know what is expected, and if you see a trend, because this is not something that's gonna happen one day and they get over it. You can feel that tension every day you come to work. So you let them know what is expected and what is required. You put them on a performance improvement plan. If nothing changes, they gotta go home.
Yeah, but if your company, like I say, Royal Bank, she had 2 or 3 years to retirement. Royal Bank wasn't sending her home.
Yeah.
They simply said, deal with it. Deal with it. And because I didn't have any HR experience, I say, you know what? I will make out of every bad situation, because I was all excited when they was putting HR again under me. But then I realized why. Yeah. Then I realized why. And so I just use it as a learning curve, as a learning experience, as you know what I mean. A lot of things I learned, a lot of confidentiality. Like when people was bringing in they were sick, and you bring in your national insurance form. On your national insurance form, it say what happened. You don't ask people to bring that in.
No.
That ain't nobody business. And they used to be right there running people down for their form. I say, wait, why are you even asking this lady for a form? Oh, I need to see what happened to her.
The doctor can use
Really?
You followed your portion.
I said, okay, I write head office on that. Okay, they won't be in people's business. I had to go to head office with that. You don't sit down and say, these people personal, oh, this one had surgery, or this and that, or this, that. No. Okay, so that's what I had to deal with. And after that big breach of confidentiality, they still did nothing with her. Told it, you gotta just deal with it, man. She's so low, man. Show on the front desk. They just did not care. And so I gave up. That was one thing. Except the things that you cannot change. That was one thing I said, okay, I can put this down in my career as an experience of dealing with a difficult person.
And that's unacceptable.
Okay.
Not if we clock into the bank on the 15 and the 30 together. Doing all your work.
I write a report and show them how much money, $30,000 to the coffee place for all this cleaning supplies. And they didn't let her go. They didn't do anything to her, so I left it.
Was
she wasn't going to do it on my watch.
Was only she had to report only to you?
Yeah, only to me. Everybody else was in Cayman or in Barbados.
So imagine dealing with someone, okay, she doesn't have to report to anyone else besides management. But imagine that everybody then had an experience.
And everybody had it. Every time she made a mistake on this check or on the overtime or on this or all kind of mix-upness, they used man, we don't want this, but I need money fixed and I need this. And she going, but she can only pay overtime once a quarter, all kind of silliness. You know, but I just had to deal with it. That was one fight I wasn't having.
You never get exhausted?
I got exhausted, but either they had to let her go because she was past the training stage, or I had to deal with it. I had no choice. I wasn't going to go home. She had 3 years yet left, so she had to be 57 or something like that. Just they say 3 years, we could make her retire at 60. That's the best we could do for you. Okay, and then it came across as I was a monster.
Yeah.
Because she have a mortgage and she needs to stay till 65. They was that, oh, she need to stay for 65. I said, okay, let her stay till 65. So that's 8 years now.
She got a mortgage. What that have to do with anybody?
No, but I just said that was the human factor in place. But I said, okay, so you all need to have a stern talk to her, and she needs to meet me halfway. So that's when they said, okay, we could put her to the front desk, you just do all the HR work, or you could hire somebody. Mom, when I do that, she like literally had a mental breakdown. She was sad. People walk through the door. She'd look. Oh no! She would let the phone ring continuously.
She would send that woman home. She would die right away.
Yeah, so there's like, please, bear, be just bear with it. So that was my experience. That's why I say, if the bank does not support you, tell them she has to meet me halfway. But you will kill yourself on that. She wasn't going to ruin my day. I made up my mind. She was not going to ruin my day again. I just made up my mind. No, listen to me. I born off a hard work. They let me hire somebody. We worked around her. She sat there and she collected that salary.
Wow.
I wish I could just.
And I did not care.
That's a gift though. That patience with
I get tired of fighting.
No, but you gotta.
And I only get fight with one
I don't think
person.
this generation.
I have 10 people. I couldn't fight with her every day.
No, that is a gift. I'm telling you that's a gift. So when you see average people like me saying that she's not saying super survivor, but just using that, I pray for patience. I just don't have it yet.
We don't live in perfect. Remember that.
I
was thankful. I was thankful for my secretary. She was my hand and foot, and when she see me having she used to kick right in and do everything right. Man, don't worry about her. Don't worry, we could do this.
See, but I understand what you're saying, right? I could understand a 57-year-old giving you a hard time, but not when someone, for instance, like the person that I have to deal with. I can see that lady because she probably somewhere again in her life stage, she probably past menopause, all the things that lady probably was just working with. But I deal with someone who's probably 10 years older than I am. So I expect you to have some common sense.
Work ethic and training comes from home. Nobody can teach you that. If you don't, you have to show up with something. And if you don't come with that, the bank can only take you so far. Okay, so that's a problem. That's like a spiritual deal with you. You're no match for it. Let it go. You document what you have to document. You put it to your manager, and once you put something to your manager, you let it go. Don't worry. We like to carry things. We like to be mad every day. We like to fight every day. Let it go. When it's out of your control, you then use all your political skills. You talk to everybody. Nobody will do nothing about it. Let it go. Let it go.
Like when my supervisors take a job, like she's on vacation and I'm in charge of tellers, and I tell them, listen, if I was your supervisor, I swear yours to be man, piss me off. You done stolen in here 5 to 9. You're supposed to be here 8:45 for me to count this cash now. At the end of the day, I have to run. I have to wait on you to reach. Get the cash on the system. I see your little stupidness, And then after the day, nobody printed. If I want to check the teller list papers, nobody printed out. Why do I have to use that for? And then you have one to the front desk and be like, she's walking slow. She just hurt my own brain. She answered the phone. I said, you caused me to shoot myself.
No, please take it on. Please take it on. Stop taking it on.
When you have to do the work, you can't just take it on.
No, but it's easier, the mental language. See, there's no metric on that. We don't know how when we go through menopause, our mind will be gone from fighting all these people. We don't calculate the money. No, for true. We calculate the work. We don't calculate the mental language, and it just ain't worth it.
No.
Fighting with her every day was not worth it to me. I let it go.
That's how I felt.
You don't live in perfect.
No,
Listen to me. The only thing you could do is show up like you work for the Lord every day. and do the Lord's work.
At least I do
Leave
good.
everything else to Jesus. The battle is not yours.
I doing good. Because for a whole week
It's
I had
not.
pressure when he's making me mad.
Because everybody, you see, just an institution, that's an institution. I have my story. I sure somebody on the side, everybody have their story. Just don't happen one place.
That's how you deal with it.
It's how you deal. That's why I say it's within.
Mm.
You go to work, I come for the Lord. I don't live in perfect. I have high, medium, and low. Stop focusing on the negative. Be thankful. Thankful for going. At least I sure when I mark these papers, I can mark his paper first. He can make me happy. I can mark one paper last. I can end with a bang. Never know it was her. Our top grade person right here. I didn't even know her name. I said, Lord, what her name is? Lord, let me leave her for last. Bam. See? 300%. That's our star girl right there. Highest on the quiz. And she looked like she get highest on the midterm too. Right? And so that's what I thankful for. There you go. There you go. Now, of course, I marking up paper last every time.
Who's one?
One right there. Yeah, but I just know them from my other classes, so, you know. I with customer service and marketing, AML, ICA.
So he come back to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so therefore, you know, that's what you do. Stop. I want every day y'all go and be thankful for the good employees. Like my good employee who was teaching all the people. No! Y'all go and even after that, something's still wrong. Even you can do this life. This life is very cantankerous and very tough. You have to, like they say, survival of the fittest. Because if you let you will be doom and gloom every day. If you think about all these things, all these people who are against you, all these people who are out to get you, people sitting on plotting your demise every day. 8 hours, they ain't coming to help you, they coming to bring you down. So you go to work for the Lord, you do the Lord's work, and you go home and you leave happy. And you thank the people, thank you, man, for being a star employee. You don't give me no headache, I don't even worry about you. Excellent. Right?
So you're not next month, I might be cheap person teaching.
That's all right. Deal with that next month. Deal with that next month. But this month, I'm happy.
You need to go to church, girl. You got a testimony.
I really got a testimony.
You need to go to church.
Let it go. Let it go. Because that's why I say a lot of women who work in the financial services sector at 55 and 60, when they go through menopause, they trip out. A lot of people, you see people on them Ponzi schemes and stuff like that, they commit suicide. They crazy.
Yes,
I know a lot of women.
She just turned 59 and she retired. She has dementia.
Yes, and this is what you're. So stop it. I'm telling you all now. We ain't being reactive because when you can't do nothing. When your mind and gone, so be proactive and right now, high levels of stress, break down your body, break down your mind. Okay? Stop it.
Don't make me stress.
And train your people to stop it.
No stress.
Come to work, do the people work, do it properly and go home. And take care of your home. The same thing at home, stop it.
You don't have that problem.
That's what I said. I tell her she made a new, not me. I don't have that stress.
If you need something.
Yeah, but that's okay.
I used to go to work every day and say, I refuse to fight.
I got it done. She just
My whole drive from east to west, I refuse to fight. Okay? So let's learn what to do even when we don't like these people, how to counsel them and how to help them. Okay? And how to create this atmosphere where if one by one we create a better atmosphere at work, we'll be in a better place. We save one institution at a time. And it will work. One department at a time. And when we become the head, this is when we have our motivational speeches in the morning. It comes from our heart. We actually mean it. When we become great, we battle and we write that speech. We can mean it. You know, it ain't just be, I got to check the box, so let me write this and put some stuff down. No, it could be from our experiences. And because we actually do want to make a difference. Okay? All right, come. To the box. All right. Come on, so we can get
Piano.
I have 311, so you all 312 or 38. What do you need to know about counseling employees? Who reads today?
326.
Yeah, 326. Yeah, I just in a different version. The same words. Who reading today?
Although employee counseling processes differ, some fundamental steps should be followed when counseling an employee. Listen to what the employee has to say. You can't effectively counsel others unless you listen to what they have to say. Your actions should be tailored to the needs, demands, and personality of your employee. These factors can't be accurately assessed without active listening. When you sit down with your employee, demonstrate your willingness and desire to be helpful. Then, listen to what he or she has to say. Also, listen to what is not being said. How is the employee framing the problem? Who does the employee think is to blame? Are his or her emotions driving out rational thinking? Don't make judgments too quickly. Try to grasp the employee's perception of the situation without agreeing or disagreeing with that perception. At this point, it's not so important to determine whether the employee is right or wrong, as it is to try to fully understand the problem from his or her point of view.
Okay, so if this question comes on the midterm, a lot of people choose these questions and then they just add a lot of fluff. But make sure you have the 5 points and that you have the definitions and know how to explain it. Don't fluff it up because you won't get the points. Okay? Alright.
Identify the problem. After you've listened to your employee's initial assessment of the situation, begin to search to identify the problem and its causes. What does the employee think is the problem? Who or what is the cause? How is this problem affecting the employee? What, if any, responsibility is your employee taking for the problem? You must remember, though, you're attacking some behavior, not the employee. Clarify alternatives. Problems come with options. In most cases, a number of alternatives can correct the problem. These need to be explored and clarified. This is the point at which a participative approach can be particularly valuable because you may see and know things that escape the employee's perception. As a result, merging your insights and the employees can result in a greater number of quality options. Once alternatives are identified, they need to be evaluated. What are the strengths and weaknesses of each? Again, 2 heads are better than 1. Your goal should be to have the employee weigh the pluses and minuses of each course of action. Come to a resolution. What's the best option for the employee? Remember, the best option for one employee is not necessarily the best option for another. The solution should reflect the unique characteristics of the employee. Ideally, both you and the employee will agree on the solution. You want to be sure the employee buys into the final choice, whether that final choice was made by you, by the employee, or jointly. A terrific solution that's not accepted by the employees is unlikely to result in any meaningful change. Agree on an action plan. Finally, the employee needs to develop a concrete plan of action for implementing the solution. What specifically is the employee going to do? When will he or she do it? What resources, if any, will be needed? It's usually a good idea to end a counseling session with the employee summarizing what has taken place and the specific actions he or she plans on taking. Establish a follow-up point at some specific date in the future for reassessing the employee's progress. If a formal meeting isn't needed, request a short memo from the employee updating you on his or her progress. This can be effective as a reminder to the employee that progress is expected and as a control device for you to assess the employee's progress. Is your action ethical? What businesses do you have delving into an employee's personal life? That's a valid question and requires us to look at the ethics of counseling. Employees bring a multitude of problems and frustrations from their personal lives to their jobs. They have difficulty finding quality daycare for infants. A teenage child is expelled from high school. They have fights with their spouses. A family member suffers a nervous breakdown. They get behind in their bills when they are harassed by creditors. A close friend is seriously hurt in an automobile accident. And a parent is diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease.
Okay, so do most of our institutions have that 1 week family with pay?
No,
It's
for
a
yeah.
vacation. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 1 week. What do y'all call it?
We call
Family
it family
leave.
leave.
Compassionate. No, not if somebody dies.
We have family leave.
A family leave. So most, because of all these things, remember now the organization is a group of people, and people, these are the type of things that happen to people. So a lot of institutions about 10 years back implemented a 1 week like an emergency leave or a family leave.
That's what I'll pay.
With no pay. No, with pay.
No, with pay.
We don't
With
get
pay.
Yeah. Oh, okay, but y'all can have it.
You can get a week.
Okay,
If you are not on probation, you can get it.
1 week off. Okay, okay. So some institutions with it, some without. Y'all have it?
Vacation.
It could be without pay. I don't think it'll be with pay.
Okay, okay. What about the unions?
I think it's what I'll pay. I'm gonna check that tomorrow.
Yeah, and so I know a lot of people, you know, when Royal Bank implemented days ago, Miss Bullet, I need one of them days. I said, what you need a day for? And today I just ain't feel well, this and that. You know, no. You really take it if it's something serious, but some people even attach it onto their vacation. Oh, I need an extra day for vacation. So yeah, don't abuse it so people can take it away. But like I say, life happens, and if you really truly need it, then, you know, you take one. But Royal Bank's own was with pay. Most of Canadian banks is with pay. Okay.
You said you'll have what? Personal days.
Paid personal days?
Yeah.
Two? Okay, so
As well.
same
What
thing.
is that? I mean, how much do you have and what is that exactly? What is that all about?
So see with personal days, which you have two. And lines have two, like supervisor management have four, but the thing about it is that they have this thing where you have to plan, like you have to request a personal day in advance, but you can't really plan.
An emergency?
Yeah,
like, you know.
Oh, so just
Yeah.
Okay, so I hope that's something you'll put in the suggestion box.
No, I know HR.
Yeah,
They changed that.
they
Okay,
sort of
good.
dealing with it now, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you know, I didn't know what happened with her. Happened in 2 weeks.
So let's say you go home tonight because you have a child or you
Yeah, because then it was so conflicting because they were saying it must be planned, but you have to plan, like you have to request it.
So I mean,
And even like a
And see,
person
like I say, these are the type of things that y'all fight for to change, but y'all know things don't really make sense. They try to do something nice, but it don't really make sense. They need some help, they don't have all the answers.
Yeah,
But these things,
sometimes you just need a day just to explain. Yeah.
children.
and in your department too, be fair. You know, things, life is
I love
happen.
things for your kids.
Once people don't abuse it.
There you go.
She's saying that.
I could be honest, I come here I work for, if something happened, they can understand. So they make, you know.
Some companies
and
don't
people
put it in
use
place,
at
but
my
they have
company
the
to take-
flexibility.
They have to take it away.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if I call in tomorrow and say, well, my son's sick, they'll understand that. Now, if I'm sick, then of course, like any company, if you miss so many days or whatever, you have to bring in the
Sick slip,
certificate.
right.
They understand that you're sick.
I think
After
it
one
depends. I think until
Now, I think that's a bit, you probably need to put some in the suggestion about that, because one is there sometimes people have migraines, they have cramps, they only need 1 day to rest. You can't expect somebody to go to get a doctor's note for cramps, come on.
Some people is their doctors come to travel.
No, but I mean, you know what I mean?
It was like that
But at least one, because 1 day you could sleep and the next day you could make it, perhaps. You be fair.
you just start as 2 days and the third day.
The third day, yeah. But then control it. And these doctors, of course, you have good insurance that you can just go use your card to the doctor.
Or have a good intention, because people know
relationship with your doctor. So I have migraines and I have migraine from a doctor and you slip.
But he don't charge you? But I mean, normally $75 for a visit, right? I have to pay $75. You can't go to the doctor and say you have
That was just.
So what is you are gonna have people dragging in and just laying on the desk all day?
Oh, yeah. Like, it's almost like this thing they expect.
But you have to get dressed, and that's the hardest part.
Like, I literally had a manager tell us that they prefer you come in, like if you have like migraine, as far as they're concerned, that's something that's trivial. she literally said, you come to work, and even if you got to perform at half or however, you must lay on your thing and do things. They rather you come and do what I
But they
tell
ain't
them.
about they ain't a preference. They ain't you know,
And then
a person is sick.
Hold on, you come
One day,
some people
when you become the head of these departments, you're sick.
I think it depends too on the management. And how they enforce
Yeah,
it.
right.
Because some people, they just believe, okay, you just call
hard,
them sick
everything
for
hard,
for
hard and
sick's
fast,
sake.
and I see a
Or they don't look at, okay, you have a baby, or she just called and you just listen, baby is baby sick. They literally, like, I know
That's
in,
crazy. You shouldn't pay $75 for one day.
like, I literally, in November, I was sick. I got sick, I think, and at the end of October. I don't know if that was the time and that red flu thing was going on, some new strain of flu, and I got sick for a week, 2 weeks, with 2 weeks in between. The first time I was able to get a doctor's slip. The second time I was able to. I stayed over the 2 days and I came back in the third day, even though I wasn't 100%. And
Why would they want?
they literally,
Yeah, that's right. Like, are they not concerned about other people?
They don't care because when they
That air conditioning, you sneeze and
That's
you
when
cough
you put that in that air, and that's it.
no, but they tell them that even your person's not coming, they come and they sick, they and I'm like, but why you coming to work?
Like, that's so annoying.
I mean, I get a big can of lights on in my office.
I'm like, but why you come to work? It's clear that you sick. They go upstairs and you sleep, and I'm like, but why y'all come to school?
Who don't understand when you call in?
They don't care. Yeah, so they just say right now, and they come. Their thing is, oh, I want them to see that I sick.
Yeah, because you.
And I want to pass these germs on. I want to make
I'm like,
5 more people sick.
Not even just that. You get other people sick. Like you say, it's an enclosed environment. That vent alone, you ain't allowed to clean. Your belly will get hands and Lysol and stuff. You making everybody else sick.
Baby, buy a Lysol and buy the sanitizer.
They ain't gonna lie. They get it.
Okay, so these like the common mistakes that you don't want to make. Okay, just
Be sympathetic.
common sense, sensical when you write these policies, and when if you ever get in a position where you vet these HR policies and stuff like that, give some feedback and say, no man, come
I
on.
wonder if the people who make these policies are humans. Like when they write these
common
policies,
sense.
like are you a mother or a father when you write these
Use the
things?
common sense approach. Hopefully. Okay, let's continue. It may seem wise.
Maybe what?
The second paragraph.
Oh yeah.
Somebody else? Who else reading?
It may seem wise to
Uncle?
keep your nose.
Oh, go ahead.
It may seem wise to keep your nose out of employees' personal lives, but that is often unreasonable. Why? Because there is no clear demarcation that separates personal and work lives. Consider the following scenario involving one of your employees, Denise. Denise's son was arrested last night for possession of drugs. She spent most of the night with the police and lawyers. Today at work, she is tired and physically, psychologically distant. She has trouble concentrating. Her mind is not on the job. It's naive to believe that employees can somehow leave their personal problems at the door when they come to work each morning. Do employees have the right to privacy? Absolutely. However, when personal problems interfere with work performance, you should not consider it beyond your jurisdiction to inquire about the problem. Inquire about the problem. Offer yourself as an open air and genuinely seek to help with the problem. If your offer is rejected, don't push. If the employee understands how his or her personal problem is affecting work performance, and you make clear what the consequences will be if the work performance doesn't improve, you've reached the ethical limit of your involvement. If the employee is protective of his or her personal life, your rights as a supervisor don't extend to helping solve his or her personal problems. However, you do have the right and the obligation to make sure employees understand that if personal problems interfere with their work, they need to solve those personal problems, and you're there to help if asked.
Okay, but something like that. My son got locked up last night for drugs. I don't want to go to work and tell my employer that, but I may be tired or what have you. So I'd say, I had some problems with my son. I'd rather not discuss it, but I do need the time off. If some supervisors would be like, no, you got to tell me what happened. You do not need to know the details. You don't need to know what happened. You don't need the people. You don't need this. You don't need to know they're getting a divorce. You don't need to know who said.
Especially the divorce.
Yeah, please. I've been through that. I've been through that. Okay? People are nosy. They are nosy and they want to talk. And so when you become supervisors and you counseling anybody, you must act ethically and you must be confidential. Don't let me pour out my heart to you. And then in the bathroom stall, I hear you saying, child, my son get locked up for drugs. Okay? What a full conversation. The grapevine, when we get the communication in chapter 10, that's what we're talking about, the grapevine. Okay? And all of this is a part of maturity and becoming, when you supervise, don't take on the position if you can't control all of these habits. Okay? If you're not interested, if you don't care about what people go through, if you don't exercise, you're not empathetic, and you're not a confidential person, by all means, don't even ask the people business. Okay, don't go to the next level. Stay right where you are. Or, like I said, you make more money if you supervise. It's a position that everybody should go to just for the experience. Even if you work back office or you don't supervise anybody. I mean, at some point you will have at least a secretary. So you need to know how to treat these people and treat them fairly, okay? And what is ethical and what is not. You know, yeah, we too nosy, and we too like people business, and we talk too much. Okay, so
and you ain't
stop,
genuine.
yes, stop all those behaviors. If you know you don't really care about this person, the person asks for help. One day you may ask for help. Just give it, okay? All right, good. So that's the last part about the performance appraisal council, because right now a lot of people showing up and they more afraid. They had a good year, but when it comes to this performance appraisal, they feel doom and gloom and they falling apart. Yeah, and government they don't care.
You could write when I was working for government. You could write whatever you want to write on the
They actually have the exercise too. You actually have goals and everything.
You have your ACR for your section every year. They bring down this old textbook, carbon copy. They check what they think you do, whatever. Yeah, they had ACRs and they wrote what they had to write on it. And me signing or responding didn't matter. Y'all ain't gonna promote me unless I sit here for 35 years. Y'all ain't give me no raise unless the government changed. So I didn't care about ACR. I came out of government 8 years, and I came out of government with that government mentality. Even in my form of writing, I had to get broken. Now, if you
so you were supervised properly, somebody took you under their wing and showed you.
I get my foot on my neck.
Okay.
I ain't tutelage, all that good stuff.
But people can't appraisals.
They can't do what?
They can't appraisals.
That's what I said.
Our department was
everywhere, not just in the office.
They tried to be.
Oh Lord.
Sorry. But we couldn't be Royal Victoria Gardens. The lab and stuff. We couldn't be slack. It didn't matter.
And you all had to be confidential.
You had no choice.
Okay, good. All right, good. Yeah, so make it a pleasant experience. Set smart goals. Work with the people to achieve the goals. Don't let it be like this. I ain't going nowhere. But please don't just check the box. We ain't going nowhere. Raise. Nothing. No incentive. My God, give the people a half day or something. Something at the end of the year for they to keep motivated. And we're going on to chapter 8 right now, and we talk about motivation.
The 10th and the 23rd is your motivation. That's what they tell us.
So what? You have to be.
And the 23rd.
Remember what I say? Creative. Creative, right? Because we don't always have the money, so we want to be creative. Okay. You ready, Monica? Or
finish the chapter.
Yeah, we finished chapter 12 with counseling. Any questions on counseling?
You don't want
Yes, the 5 points.
You don't want to create and write. You just want to.
I want you to understand and be able to write the 5 points and explain it, and then give your own personal point of view. Because all of us have been counseled or, have counseled somebody before, so we know. But it has to just make sense. Okay. So
Smart as well.
No smart ain't nowhere. And don't say smart. We took smart from right. Right, use that in our paper,
Oh, it's fun.
which we're gonna be tested on the midterm. That's why I say remember the book doesn't say SMART. The book gives 3 acronyms or 4 on goals with type of goals. It does say specific. It does say. So go,
She didn't say
turn
she
back.
took someone from the book, right?
No, she didn't take that from the book. No. But I just used hers, and that's what you'll be tested on. Because remember, a part of the midterm is the questions that everybody wrote their paper on. Right? 10 questions from those papers, and of course it'll be SMART goals. That's why I keep saying it.
Say what?
Tell her what I say. Anybody hear me? Anybody hear me? Prefect, you all just
Maybe we're gonna be testing with each other's topic.
Yes.
Yes.
Who else, sure? Who else?
Mind you, I was asking. I know he's writing it down, but
Midtime.
okay. So who are they things? I still have y'all things. I need a copy.
See, I don't give you all one whole questions. SMART goals. You all know what I say 10,000 times. And I say we using right on. I say all of that, right?
Right.
Prefect, back me up, please. Thank
I
you.
need your thing too.
So let me
No,
go.
she ain't meaning she using my paper. She's meaning she said she's using the
That question.
asking SMART. On the finding SMART goals. And then I said what SMART means.
No, but she said, okay, hold on. I may have a little disagreement moment going on. Okay, what's SMART means?
Let us help out.
No, okay, no. You're saying that we're gonna have midterm on our little presentation.
Yes. 10 questions on those presentations will be on the
Anybody,
midterm.
or maybe from 1 or any 10.
Any 10.
Okay, I need a copy of everybody.
That's why I said pay attention.
I don't pay attention like that. Oh my god. Please? I mean, I dare too. Please? If y'all have them, still have them, can I get a copy of y'all?
I would just say everybody bring them who when you want them to get and then bring it to your man.
Y'all don't have enough now. Okay, before we go on to chapter 8, yes, board. Oh, on the next one. Come on.
Who's what?
Thank you.
What? No, what is? You will see it right now.
What is the quiet?
What ain't get her 10 points here. She just too quiet sitting in these corners and saying
Okay.
nothing.
One time get
Okay. If y'all want, I still have mine.
Listen, we don't gotta read all these chapters. You think we can take in all that information
You
right
have
there?
to, you have to,
That's one part I
China.
understand.
We're gonna get too much time, man.
Of course, that China question could be on that test.
See, I still got it.
bring it on, man. Bring it on, man. Say, bring it on. Bring it on.
If we could just run quick, okay, how many persons? 12 and
Oh, Jesus.
14, so 15.
Okay,
So I'll
so
make
look at
15
page
copies.
73 or 74 on goal setting. And it said, what is the key to making goal setting effective? And they said there are 4 ingredients common to goal setting. You should be on page 74, chapter 3.
74.
Yeah, chapter 3. Yeah, we was going to chapter 8, but then she stopped us, so we going back. So everybody will know.
74.
At the top it says goal setting. Okay, so what is the key to making goal setting effective? Remember we read this, you all see the little triangle? So it said there are 4 ingredients, and that's what I say. I don't want it to say be specific, participation, time limits, and performance feedback. And that's when I said I like right on better. She break it down to spot, but basically it's the same thing. Yeah. Okay? Yeah, but remember the acronym SMART. Okay? And remember some of the things that she said. Okay, since she come back, we go wait till the end. Let's go to chapter 8. But we see on the goal setting. You're going to print it out. You got to find a printer. You got to find somebody to help you. He have it? Okay. Okay. You don't need to class. You have enough time. Today is Monday. We have a class on Wednesday. You have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You don't need it.
Miss Belinda, your turn on last one.
Just arrange yourself.
You see, I said, I still trying to arrange myself.
No, but I had actually in my ICA class, I had to tell the lady, speak your husband up a little bit. Let him keep the children, deal with it. Don't cook every day. Don't, all the duties that we do is say, I can come off cooking for a week. I can come off, especially when you have an exam. Ask permission, be submissive. And that's what they had to do. No, I can tell you one person in this class too did it and it worked. Because they was running to class, running from class, exhausted, picking up the children, doing this. Yeah, ask for help. And if you don't have a husband, ask a sister, ask a good friend or whatever. That's why we have godparents. That's why we have all these people. Okay, but see, that's it. Use your help.
You
Take a rest.
RBC dying and that's 16.
You have a sister. You have a cousin. You tell your husband,
You gonna turn.
help me get through this, and I owe you. That's all they like to know. You owe them, there. And there you go. There you go. Work it out. But pass the class.
What again? 60 points? 60%?
65 overall for the whole class.
No, on the paper you went outline.
Yeah, 60% for the final. Definitely, you're
And
gonna
what
work
else?
out.
What was 20?
20% is this midterm. Yeah. 10% is the
So if you,
presentation.
okay, that's it. If you fail the test, you do the class today, and you take the midterm, and you get anywhere from 8, you pass it, right? And then when you take the final, you pass it.
You go, yeah. But if don't worry about, well, chapter 1 would have been the easiest test to pass. But you get the highest grade out of the 2 quizzes. So you'll drop 1 grade and so if you get 2 90s, you get 90. You get 190, you get it for both. You get the highest grade.
Okay, so you get if you fail one and then get on the next one 80,
Yeah.
you give it 80.
The 2 80s here. So, but that was the easiest test to get the highest grade in right there. Yeah.
That wasn't hard, you know.
It wasn't. A lot of people.
I make dumb mistakes in my exam. I go on thinking too much.
Most people got 70 plus. I thought as I marked it, I said, okay, this was too easy. Too easy.
It wasn't hard to do, you know. I just think
it wasn't hard. Everybody, yeah, it wasn't hard.
Everybody
Good job. I was proud.
BP I messed up my night before. Everybody couldn't have the current.
Yeah, and then the paper is 10%, but if you the mentoring. Presentation, but if you don't do it, you get it incomplete.
Oh, dear Jesus.
You cannot pass the class. You can't pass the class if you don't do that.
So Miss we just have to pick a topic. Let's, like I say,
I gotta find a
let's say
mentee.
I go back into that. Mentoring somebody with reference to that. I'll be fine.
Yeah, you don't have to pick a topic. You have to document how you communicate. Remember, there was five different categories. That's what you said. This is how we communicate. This was the purpose. This because you saw a need in this person because the person needed to go back to school or get in church or get to something like that. So you answer those 5 questions. And if you do somebody at work, they say who's the knowledge source in your institution? Who does everybody go to? Right? Then you put me, and that's excellent. It's excellent. It's excellent. That's you.
What do you think was right?
You can mentor my boss.
If they're receptive, the person has to be receptive. They have to have a need.
No, you just need to go out. No.
But you somebody. Okay, and you're ready to take on a team. How many people you supervise?
Me?
No. 3. How many you supervise?
Well, that I'm supposed to supervise 3.
Okay.
But that I supervise. What 13?
Okay, but you're pouring into these 13, you're getting them to the next step. You're making sure if they come with a high school diploma, they get into the next step or all of that. See, this is what you have to. You pour out into these people every day. Did you go to work in business only now? And when they succeed, you succeed. When they fail, you fail. Right? So you got to make sure they succeed. Can't have 10 out of 13 failing and you get exceeding somebody like you. Right? Now, if 7, like I say, high, medium, and low, then you're fine. But if all don't get to the next step, And that's the key thing with this performance appraisal. Remember I said you do a development plan with seminar with your next step is, but also a succession plan, and that's where a lot of companies in the Bahamas fail. Even our government, Terry Christie didn't want to retire at 70, and there was nobody in the PLP who get, you know what I mean? I mean, Brave Davis came up, but, you know. Yeah, if you see, when you conquer a job, you're supposed to be waiting for the next step. If you have nobody to take your place, you fail. You fail. So succession planning, everybody know what a succession plan is? Yeah. If you don't have one, you fail. Okay? Okay, good. What's your topic?
Failure to change and adapt to the times.
Say that again. What's your name?
My name is Shirley Ward, and my topic is failure to change and adapt to the times.
Failure?
Failure.
Okay. Failure to change.
Why are we failing to change and to adapt to the times? The world, as we know, is constantly changing because businesses are continuously facing change, whether these changes are big or small. It is important for government, firms, and citizens to be aware of these trends. Our most notable and most occurring change is increase in rapid customer preference, a volatile economic environment, and having our labor force that is not skilled to meet the demands. I believe that as leaders, we must identify the ways for our country to remain viable. In order to do this, we must first take a look at our educational system. Why, you may ask? Our educational system is our first line of defense. We have to identify the jobs that are needed in our market to sustain it. Failure to do so, we therefore import a bunch of immigrants to do the jobs that our people can do. Why I say education? Education because from within the last 20 years, our system has not changed. We still teach the same thing over and over. And we teach no history. Our people don't know where they come from. We cannot have a country that's just filled with nurses, teachers, lawyers, doctors, accountants, administrators, and a few plumbers. What happens to the farmers? What happens to the line people that make you where you are? We have to make these jobs necessary. We have to import less people to be our technicians, to fix things. We have to send our things off to the States when we have a problem with it. There's no one here really to fix our phones. You know, we are in a nation of tech savvy, right? We all have iPhones and some of us can't afford it, right? But yeah, our phones are sensitive and there are very few people here that can fix it, and those that can charge you an arm and a leg. Supply and demand. So, our next issue that we have to face in our government is our political policies. We first need to address the change in our labor force. We have to address our obsolete legislations that no longer make sense, and the global changes and trends that affect our global bodies, especially in our banking facilities. Our little darlings, when they complete their high school education and they are deemed to go in the workforce, cannot get employment. Why? Because they are underage. The legal age for employment is 18. Our kids graduate at 16, 17. What do? Our girls stay home. Some get into private school, some get into colleges and technical courses, whilst others sit home and then do nothing or get pregnant and reproduce. Our boys, we find them on the blocks, drinking, smoking, and doing all kinds of things. It contributes to our crime rate and our lack of, gotta find it. Our lack of morals for our generation. The next thing is, how many of you believe that you have committed a crime in terms of your kids using a tricycle, a motorbike, a scooter? We all have if we have kids. All two-wheeled should be licensed and insured, but we don't do that. It's an obsolete law that needs to be addressed. I conclude my presentation.
Any questions? No? On to chapter 8? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, on to chapter 8. Okay, so we'll talk about motivation, we'll talk about theory Y, theory X. We'll talk about Abraham Maslow. Anybody familiar with Abraham Maslow? Okay, who was Abraham Maslow?
That was the guy who did the
Maslow hierarchy of needs. Okay, and who was like a philosopher, right? Yeah. So what happening today? Do we have like people get stopped being philosophical? Is that the right word? No more philosophers, because all these people was what from the 1800s or 1900s.
The people,
like so what?
the people now don't think. They think they just don't think. They
do. Everybody just feels like it ain't okay to speak out.
When I say
that's everybody's concept.
So people okay, so I'm sure when he made this motivation theory back in 1900s or whenever it was, did they really believe him? Did they think it was true? Did anybody respect it? Or years later, they saw what he was saying and it made sense.
probably
Years later, he was trying.
Yeah.
But his movements didn't make as much impact until he was killed.
Okay,
That's
so
what
because
happened.
these philosophers didn't get the respect, they didn't get, it guess what? It ain't popular anymore or what?
Don't think of things that deep.
Okay, so what about all these Facebook people that come on and the Harrison Thompson guy? Anybody is listening to him? He is a psychologist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He is philosophical in some ways. He makes you think. He gives you ideas. Do we listen?
I don't know what I'm telling.
No, but there's or has this philosophy thing moved into motivational speaking now, and it ain't really philosophy anymore.
There's a thin line between. There's a thin line between.
There's a thin line.
Philosophy and.
Okay, and they tested these. Anybody knows what Abraham Maslow's theory is? No?
What's the question?
What is the theory? What is his theory? What did he believe? How people are motivated? Anybody read it? Anybody familiar?
I did. It's kind of.
Okay, so turn right over. He said there are
Once you
needs.
that your needs are satisfied, you don't.
You go that. Yeah, you no longer
have that drive.
It no longer motivates you, right? Or if you lose a need, then
you don't have that motivation for it. You don't need it anymore.
Right. So there were 5. He proposed a hierarchy of needs. He said there are 5 specific to 4. Okay, so Maslow proposed that within every human being exists a hierarchy of 5 needs. And this gets an overview, and then we'll go back, and because I want you all to think about it as we read it. And so is physiological need that includes hunger and thirst and shelter and sex and other bodily needs. Is safety, it includes security and protection from physical and emotional harm. Is social, it includes affection, a sense of belonging, acceptance and friendship. Is esteem, it includes internal factors such as self-respect, autonomy and achievement, and then self-actualization. The drive to become what one is capable of becoming includes growth, achieving one's potential, and self-fulfillment. Right? And so what he said is, A satisfied need no longer creates tension and therefore does not motivate. Okay? And so this is my example. Okay, what this is now. What we have it. Memorial Day weekend. We ready. We going to Fort Lauderdale now. We on our way there. We in party mood. They got all sorts of concerts and all hype. What need that is?
Social.
My social need, right? And so, that's your downtown. Okay, but I all hype. I going to satisfy my social need. Of course, I take a plane. I on the plane, and they say it's turbulent. But all the oxygen drop out the sky.
Oh dear Lord.
The plane dip, whatever. Everybody start praying and throwing oil. I worrying but Memorial Day. I worrying but this plane better not crash because I have all my best clothes in that suitcase and my hair unfixed. What I worrying about now?
Please get me over. I need to be over.
So I'm no longer motivated socially. Right? Because now my safety need is at stake. So forget but Memorial Day weekend. I on my knees praying, hoping I have that 3 month salary saved for emergency. If I live, I can pay to go in the hospital. Right? So what y'all think? Y'all think his theory is right?
I think so. I agree.
You agree? Why you agree?
Because I mean, it's no longer need. If you have a need is only something that's not desired, but it's only a lack. A need is only a lack. And if you have that, but you lack, then you no longer lack it.
Need a day. Okay. All right. Good. Okay. That's just my example. So think about it, because for years they had to prove him whether he was right or wrong. This theory that he created. Okay. So again, this is another essay question. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Normally it says compare and contrast Maslow's hierarchy of needs with theory Y and theory X. Okay, so let's make sure that we understand theory Y and theory X and Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Okay, who reading? What is motivation? Flip back over to the first page of chapter 8.
What is motivation? First, let's describe what we mean by the term motivation. Motivation is the willingness to do something. It is conditioned by this action's ability to satisfy some need for the individual. A need, in our terminology, means a physiological or psychological deficiency that makes certain outcomes seem attractive. An unsatisfied need creates tension, which sets off a drive to satisfy that need. The greater the tension, the greater the drive or effort required to reduce that tension. When we see employees working hard at some activity, we can conclude that they are driven by a desire to satisfy one or more needs that they value. Understanding individual differences. A common error that new supervisors often make is to assume that other people are like them. If they are ambitious, they think others will be ambitious just like them. If they place a high value on spending evenings and weekends with their family, they often assume that others feel the same way. These assumptions are frequently big mistakes. People are different. What's important to us is not necessarily important to others. Not everybody, for instance, is driven by the desire for money. Yet a lot of supervisors believe that a bonus or the opportunity for a pay increase should make every employee want to work harder. If you're going to be successful in motivating people, you have to begin by accepting and trying to understand individual differences. To make our point, let's look at personality. Most of us know people who are loud and aggressive. We know others who are quiet and active. A number of personality characteristics have been singled out as having relevance to understanding the behavior and motivation of employees at work. 5 specific personality measures have proven most powerful in explaining individual behavior in organizations. Locus of control.
Teacher, multiple choice questions.
Locus of control
Machiavellianism.
and self-esteem, self-monitoring, and risk propensity. Let's look at these elements. Can personality types help predict practical work-related behaviors? Who has control over an individual's behavior? Some people believe that they can control their own fate. Others see themselves as pawns of fate, believing that what happens to them in their lives is a result of luck or chance. The locus of control in the first case is internal. These people believe that they control their destiny. In the second case, it is external. These people believe that their lives are controlled by outside forces. Studies tell us that employees who rate high in externality are less satisfied with their jobs, more alienated from the work setting, and less involved in their jobs than are those who rate high in internality. For instance, employees with an external locus of control may be less enthusiastic about their jobs because they believe that they have little personal influence on the outcome of their personality appraisals. If they get a poor appraisal, they are apt to blame it on the supervisor's prejudice, their coworkers, or other events outside their control.
Okay, and we all know people like that. That I might as well just show up and whatever, because at the end of the year I still get the same rating, right? So they just don't perform.
The second characteristic is called
Machiavellianism.
Machiavellianism, named after Niccolo Machiavelli, who wrote the 16th century on how to gain and manipulate power.
Anybody read that? No. We just forget about all these philosophies and stuff like that. Okay, continue.
An individual exhibiting strong Machiavellian tendencies is manipulative and believes that ends can justify means. Some might even see these people as ruthless. High marks tend to be motivated on jobs that require bargaining, for example, labor negotiator, or where there are substantial rewards for winnings, as in commission sales. But they can get frustrated in jobs where specific rules must be followed or where rewards are based more on using the proper means than on the achievement of outcomes. People differ in the degree to which they like or dislike themselves. This trait is called self-esteem. Studies confirm that people high in self-esteem believe that they possess more of the ability they need to succeed at work. But the most significant finding on self-esteem is that low self-esteems are more susceptible to external influence than are high self-esteem. Low self-esteem depend on positive evaluations from others. As a result, they are more likely to seek approval from others and more prone to conform to the beliefs and behaviors that those they respect are than are high self-esteem. Some individuals are very adaptable and can easily adjust their behavior to changing situations. Others are rigid and inflexible. The personality trait that captures this difference is called self-monitoring.
And we seem to have a lot of people with this trait in our institutions, right? And this is exactly the way we don't want to be, right?
Individuals high in self-monitoring show considerable adaptability in adjusting their behavior to external situational factors. They are highly sensitive to external cues and can behave differently in different situations. High self-monitors are capable of preventing striking contradictions between their public personas and their private selves. Low self-monitors can disguise themselves this way. They tend to display their true feelings and beliefs in every situation.
And that's not always popular because people don't like truth, right? People don't want you to come and tell them you messing up, you doing this wrong, or they go against you. So how do you strike a balance between being ethical and watching out for people's feelings? Right? It's very, very, it's a thin line, right? You want to be ethical, but the truth hurts. Is a saying, right? The truth really, really hurts. And it's more popular today to tell a lie than to tell the truth. We have to change that. And I mean, a lot of people just accept it. Like, people with hygiene problems in the workplace.
I'm trying to play the issue now.
We've all had that issue before, right? Yes or no?
It's not bad.
But nobody addresses it.
I've never experienced
I know,
that.
I
I've
know,
only
you were there.
experienced an employee who smoked weed and you could smell it on them in the morning.
That's a
But
hygiene
I've
problem.
never smelled
Like
like
body
another
odor.
female or like that.
Body odor or halitosis
Yeah,
or all
not,
these
not
things.
that, but I have like somebody that like they call it like she's scratching, like
And they're scratching places you shouldn't
well,
be
she
scratching.
be up, she try to go all the way in Rome, and she just is flick. I be like,
Do you think that landed up? Yeah, nasty.
Like
and
what?
then you will come on,
I'll have to tell her about that.
or she be scratching.
And all the dandruff on her.
All
You go to her
day.
desk.
I'll have
All
to
the
tell her
papers.
about that.
Yes. All the papers full of. I mean, I have very
could
bad
touch
dandruff,
me.
but I don't scratch. On her desk, full. When you go to something, you have to take it off. Yes.
Take it off.
Nobody is want to address it. Nobody.
Wow.
And trust me, when you address them, they hate you for life. They hate you for life.
Her problem is eczema, right? I have eczema too, that's on my hairline, so I just have to wash my hair every day. But she have it so bad that she's scratching every day and like and just be like
She could get a cream. She could get something. They just.
like if you doing this, do this. Like do that, but it's every day. So be like you girl in front of people.
She
Like,
need a treatment. She need to some different stuff to figure out what's for
But
her.
the whole thing is, how did we end up in a world
Where
where
it ain't
not
okay.
telling the truth was more popular than telling the truth?
like
Because people don't like to hear the truth.
fix yourself up.
I don't know because we lie. A lot of times people lie to themselves.
Yeah.
So when you start just many times I lie to myself. I'm like, listen, you could do this and you shouldn't be doing this. Is it alright? Because you're doing it.
So it's an ego thing then.
I don't know if it's an ego because you become comfortable lying to yourself.
I think it's especially this generation. Now you can't.
I had to shake myself a lot and be like, listen, it ain't okay that you have this not thinking before you speak type attitude. Mind you, I mean nothing by it, but if you do something wrong, I'll be like, you stupid. What you doing? But
Right.
I thought it was okay. Just saying, I speak in my mind. I speak in my truth.
That's you.
That's me lying to myself, trying to be. So maybe
You do just lying to
It
yourself.
is lying. It's encouraging yourself.
No, I think
You
that's
encouraging
just
yourself.
you just real boy.
I'm interested in that. But I feel like if you lie to yourself about things you know you shouldn't do, then you start to lie comfortably. I guess I don't know why.
But why did you feel as though that was not okay to do?
What, me?
Yeah.
I used to hurt a lot of people's feelings, but I didn't know my choice of
like
words probably, and I don't come off trying to say.
Intentionally trying to hurt somebody.
Or if you ask me something and I feel like I'd be like, don't ask me nothing silly, like you know the
Who's
answer.
the turtle?
Okay.
Anyway, okay, let's get back to the
You're a
book.
straight shooter.
Yeah. Get back.
The evidence tells us that high self-monitors tend to pay closer attention to the behavior of others and are more capable of conforming than are low self-monitors. Additionally, because high self-monitors are flexible, they adjust better than low self-monitors to job situations that require individuals to play multiple roles in their work groups. People differ in their willingness to take chances.
Sorry. Break which down.
The high one doesn't low
Yeah, that
one.
one.
Additionally,
Okay.
because yeah,
No, finish read.
Additionally, because high self-monitors are flexible, they adjust better than low self-monitors to job situations that require individuals to play multiple roles in their work group.
Okay. So they are high self-monitors and they are low self-monitors. How the book writes it and how society sees it is preferable to be a high self-monitor. But a high self-monitor normally don't. What should I say? Yeah, they more of a fake. They'll be flexible. They don't give off good foundation. They genuine, right? You see the traders.
No. Because they say like 1 minute.
Yeah, they're not genuine. They seem to perform good at work because they just adapt to the environment and they make do. Whether you say this is what I need to do today, okay, fine, I'll do it today. They're not necessarily gonna do it. or they'll make up a lie just to get past.
Interesting.
They just satisfy you. They want it rushed. They always edgy. They smoke 10 cigarettes a day like the traders. Anybody ever work with traders? They always fancy. They always uptight. Whatever you go to them for, they say yes, but they don't deliver.
They politicians.
They are self-monitoring.
No. So it's the different. Just look at you just get the definition on how the ability to adjust to external situations. They adapt easily. A lot of institutions in the trading industry, there's no human factor. That's all they want. They want you to come in to do the work and that's it and leave.
Well,
Yeah, they ain't really concerned about all this mushy stuff. No feeling, no treating, no human factor, nothing. Okay?
So you prefer to be better for you to work with someone low and high?
It depends.
It depends. It depends. So everybody have a different need. I care about how people treat me, right? And so I will leave a job if I can't go to a job every day feeling uncomfortable, right? And so that's what happened. Remember, I told you all I had to make $30,000 before I turned 30, so I left and I went to Atlanta. Oh, I ran out of it. I was there for 1 week, but I made $10,000 more. But I could not. And so a bunch of fake people who dress up all day long, because they're getting the job done, but they don't care about you. Don't come talking about your child sick. Don't come asking for no week off with no family responsibility leave. No human factor at all. Same thing when I went from Finco Robinson Road, the ghetto branch, to Life for Keep.
Oh yeah,
okay? So here it is now. Everybody, you going to trust. Oh, it's so great, whatever. The real demons. I thought when I used to see the horns when I used to talk to some of them, right? And all they wanted to know is, what? They hired you from Robinson Road in Key West Street? I've never been on Robinson Road. Isn't that like in the ghetto? She tell me she's still on out. So I don't even drive to those areas. How did you drive to work every day? That's the type of things they ask you. They'll ask you that.
The same kind of guy you drive.
Yeah. So it was different. It was, like I say, it was more money, but some of the worst people I ever met in my life. I used to sit next to the devil.
Yeah, like you said, peace of mind.
You could none.
So it really depends on what you need.
What I find, right, sometimes you have to be a high monitor, because if you're upset about something, it may affect how your boss view you. So you have to be like all the time. You know what I mean? If you show your feelings, they can be like, oh, Shakira is so miserable. She's this. You know what I mean? So you always have to have like this.
Yeah, like I don't care. I come to do a job and that's it. So it like I say, when you in Rome, act like the Romans act. Yeah, but it depends on. I personally cannot work in that environment because Royal Bank wasn't always good, but they developed the whole way. Along the way, and they said they introduced something called colleague care. You just how I want you to give 100% to those customers and white glove service to that customer. I want you to build a relationship with them. This is what you do to the employees. You don't harass them. You don't gossip about them. You don't, if they ask you to cover their shift or do this or do that, they brought in the human factor. Okay? Because you can't just say, treat these people a certain way and be set. We spend 8 hours a day. And you don't have to be my friend, but you have to be respectful. You know what I mean? And I mean, no matter what, I can handle, a lot of people can't handle the truth. I can handle the truth. Take the time to get to know me. If we were together 10 years, my boss out of Barbados, when he came, he said, oh, wow, I sat next to somebody in England for 25 years and I didn't even know their name. And so now, they're coming now from England, from the Channel Islands, from Canada, from Trinidad, from Jamaica, and this is what they train in our people. This is the type of work environments that they create. You can sit next to somebody for 25 years and don't know their name. He said we all had our own cubicle, and after they raised the bar, I didn't even see him. For the last 10 years, I haven't even seen him. So that means because he used to when he came over, he said, Tiffany, remind me to say good morning because people think that I'm rude.
Wow.
And so I used to be walking him through the building, and he come say good morning, say good morning, say good, because he had just busting somebody off to start talking. No, they just see it. So you know that person.
How are you?
If you don't know that person for 25 years, that means you never said good morning.
Wow.
Never. You probably saw that person in a meeting, but didn't even notice the person who was sitting next to you because you were separated by a cubicle.
Wow.
So.
I had a good environment.
You see, that's just it.
That's a culture.
How do you feel every day? Again, what motivates you? Is it the money?
No.
That you go and you sit down and you fake every day?
No.
Do you not care? I mean, because see, that's just it. I had to get to a point where I say, I go into paradise every day, and so therefore, I in Afghanistan, and when I finish with war, I go into paradise. I rejuvenate myself. And then I come back to the war the next day. Yeah. So that was my way. Sometimes that's how it was. When I was at Finkel Robinson Road, we went to church together. We helped each other. We was in ASUS. We was in they my friends. But out of life a key, they was worried that I was gonna be one of the persons that was. Remember, I tell you, the bank is paid $50,000 for 3 executives to be the Albany Club, Life a Key Club, and all for they was mad because I was black. And I was one of the executives who could have come to the club.
Wow.
They wanted to know how they could change the policy because I was black.
But you was the lightest of the blacks.
No, they can tell when you're black.
I know.
They
That was a joke.
And I drive in, and she drives all the way from the.
I know.
Are you sure she can make it to work? She drives all the way from East. What? We live right next door.
Are
you sure? That's who you want to hire.
You had a lot of food.
Yeah.
Okay. But so if you could deal with it, then fine. But back then I was money. I was like, okay. And then home was happy, and so I got to deal with that. And then I realized, hey, go to war, come home. But I made sure I made my house a home during those years because I could not fight with anybody. Everybody just had to work out every difference that we had. I couldn't be mad because this all the support I have. And so, you know how they say some people have a house and some people have a home? In those, maybe that was just my years to know that you was go to war, you have to come to paradise. So,
good way to look at it.
You can learn from it. You take every bad situation and see what good it could do.
I think that's why you do ask myself.
Yeah, whatever. So at different points in your life, you do different things. It ain't gonna always be 20 years of the same thing. If you grow it, if you learn it. If nobody against you, if nobody beating you down, if nobody trying to cause you to lose your job, you're doing something wrong.
Sure.
You're ineffective enough. But if it's just you, if you who it was David and Goliath, if you was David and 10 giants out there, little old you, they want to know how you get this job, what you doing here, why? Something about you. Okay, so that's how you gotta look at it. I think it is a trick, and I've been tricked for 20 years, and so now I can sit down and tell you all don't take it on. It's designed to just cause you to lose your mind. Know what season you in and accept the things you cannot change and go to work for the Lord. Any other way, you would be crazy. I tell you. Because if they could kill you and get away with it, they will. Tomorrow.
Today.
Tomorrow. So, don't take it on. Go to work, do your work, be happy. Change the atmosphere, change the environment you're in. If he's receptive to you and you need some human factor, tell him. But if he ain't, just leave it. Yeah, just leave it. But at the end of the day, you don't have a need to feel like, I sometimes want to be in a real environment. I pray that I have a bit, because I show you had good supervisors. All of them in bad. You always been in a hostile type environment?
No.
No. So yeah, like I say.
No, I'm not in one now, but sometimes they give you the perception that you're always supposed to, I guess, be happy. You may have something personal going on.
Yep.
Or you really did piss me off and I don't want to smile with you right now.
But they very fake. That's what they like. They like to sit down and they're cowards. So they like to sit in your face and laugh at you and have tea with you. Like my boss used to take me to lunch every time he came.
Like it means you think that's all.
Kill you.
Like you just send an email trying to throw me under the bus. And you will come by my desk.
It's like
Are you coming to the social on Wednesday?
Yeah,
we can
I'll be there.
No.
No, but
You can't take it on though.
yeah, don't take it on. Just leave it. Just leave it. Like I say, it's not that the high self-monitor is the preferred way, but it's just in the real way. It's just in the genuine way. I prefer to be real. Some people just I go to work for work and that's it.
I can't work like that. I feel like
See,
working there so long.
8
throughout the
hours.
day. I need to be
8
able
hours.
to.
And most 10 of us. 10 hours.
I must do.
So me too. If I somewhere for 10 hours, I could be happy.
I need.
Because they asking you to work overtime. So could you imagine? You watching the clock till 4 o'clock come and 4 o'clock you gotta stay till 8. That'll drive me bananas. All these things will just drive you crazy. So that's why you accept the things that you don't change, and then you know this is the environment what I in right now. Lord, I thank you for what I can learn from this, and I will go on. So do you know right or wrong? It's just what season you in your preferred way, depending on what type of person you are. Okay, so let's talk about, do you need your emotional intelligence to improve your supervision skills, or do you need to develop it?
Becoming more attuned to your own emotions and those of others may increase your effectiveness on the job. Emotional intelligence consists of 5 dimensions that may help you cope with the daily demands and pressures of the workplace. The dimensions of emotional intelligence are the following: self-awareness, an awareness of what and how you are feeling; self-management, the ability to manage your emotions and impulses; self-motivation, the ability to persist in the face of setbacks and failures; empathy, the ability to sense how others are feeling; social skills, the ability to handle the emotions of others. Multiple studies indicate that emotional intelligence characterizes high performers and they are better able to relate to others in individual as well as team environments. Many human resource managers indicate that emotional intelligence is essential for career success in the organization, especially in jobs requiring social interaction.
Okay. So let's go back to the topic or the definition of an organization. A group of human beings, right? But you don't want no human factor. Is that a contradiction? I don't know. I just think of it. Okay, continue.
How can an understanding of personality help you be a more effective supervisor? The major value of understanding personality differences probably lies in selection. You are likely to have a high-performing and more satisfied employees if you match personality types with compatible jobs.
Again, and those what they use to hire you stays in HR. We never see it. Right? The personality test that you would have taken, because most companies do it now. Remember, I talked about Atlanta's having like a 45-page one. 45 pages of personality questions that take you 2 hours to answer, and it never leaves HR. But you hire these people, and you don't even know who you're dealing with, and we don't even request them. So when you become supervisors, please request them, especially before you have the problem, so you will know where to place who and what. Because sometimes you could just rearrange. If you have a group of people right in your department, you could just rearrange them, and they'll be a lot happier. Okay.
In addition, there may be other benefits. By recognizing that people approach problem solving, decision making, and job interactions differently, you can better understand why, for instance, an employee is uncomfortable with making quick decisions, or why an employee insists on gathering as much information as possible before addressing a problem. We can also anticipate that individuals with an external locus of control may be less satisfied with their jobs than internals, and also that they may be less willing to accept responsibility for their actions. The early theories of motivation. Once we accept individual differences, we begin to understand why no single motivator applies to all employees. Because people are complex, any attempt to explain their motivations will also tend to be complex. We see this in the number of approaches that have been taken in developing theories of employee motivation. In the following pages, we review the most popular of these early theory approaches. How do you focus on needs? The most elementary approach to motivation was developed by Abraham Maslow. He identified a basic needs that he argued were common to all individuals. He said individuals should be evaluated in terms of the degree to which these needs are fulfilled. According to Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory,
Hierarchy.
a satisfied need no longer creates tension and therefore doesn't motivate. The key to motivation, then, at least according to Maslow, is to determine where an individual is along the needs hierarchy and to focus motivation efforts at the point where needs become essentially unfulfilled. Maslow proposed that within every human being exists a hierarchy of 5 needs. Physiological includes hunger, thirst, shelter, sex, and other bodily needs. Safety includes security and protection from physical and emotional harm. Social includes affection, a sense of belonging, acceptance, and friendship. Esteem includes internal factors such as self-respect, autonomy, and achievement, and external factors such as status, recognition, and attention. Self-actualization, the drive to become one is capable of becoming, includes growth, achieving one's potential, and self-fulfillment. As each of these needs becomes substantially satisfied, the next need becomes dominant. In the terms exhibiting 12.8.2, the individual moves up the hierarchy. From the perspective of motivation, the theory would say that although no need is ever completely fulfilled, a substantially satisfied need no longer motivates. A number of studies to test the validity of Maslow's theory have been made over the years. Generally, these studies have not been able to support the theory. We can't say, for example, that everyone's need structure is organized along the dimensions Maslow proposed. So although this theory has been around for a long time and is certainly well known, it is probably not a very good guide for helping you motivate your employees.
Okay, but we understand this the hierarchy. We understand that once you're satisfied, it no longer motivates you. Okay.
Now, supervisors focus on the nature of people. Some supervisors believe that their employees are hardworking, committed, and responsible. Others view their employees as essentially lazy, irresponsible, and lacking of ambition. This observation led Douglas McGregor to propose his Theory X, Theory Y view of human nature and motivation. McGregor argued that a supervisor's view of the nature of human beings is based on a certain grouping of assumptions, and that he or she tends to mold his or her behavior towards subordinates according to these assumptions. Under Theory X, the 4 assumptions upheld by supervisors are the following. 1. Employees inherently dislike work and whenever possible will attempt to avoid it. 2. Because employees dislike work, they must be coerced, controlled, or threatened with punishment to achieve desired goals. 3. Employees will shirk responsibilities and seek formal direction whenever possible. 4. Most workers place security above all other factors associated with work and will display little ambition. In contrast to these negative toward the nature of human beings, McGregor listed 4 other assumptions that he calls Theory Y. 1. Employees can view work as being as natural as rest or play. A person will exercise self-direction and self-control if he or she is committed to the objectives. 3. The average person can learn to accept, even seek, responsibility. 4. The ability to make good decisions is widely dispersed throughout the population and is not necessarily the sole province of supervisors. Alright? What are the motivational implications of Theory X, Theory Y? McGregor argued that Theory Y assumptions were more valid than Theory X assumptions. As a result, he proposed ideas such as participation in decision making, responsible and challenging the jobs, and good group relations as approaches that would maximize an employee's job motivation. Unfortunately, there is no evidence to confirm that either set of assumptions is valid, while the acceptance of Theory Y assumptions and altering one's actions accordingly will lead to more motivated workers. As will become evident later in this chapter, either Theory X or Theory Y assumptions may be appropriate in a particular situation.
Okay, good. So we'll stop right there. And when we come on Wednesday, we'll finish chapter 8 and then we'll answer, compare and contrast the difference between Theory X and Theory Y and Abraham Maslow. So come prepared to give, I go right on the board or we could come prepared to have the discussion. So that'll be the discussion as well as how to create the atmosphere in which employees really want to work. We'll just have a discussion because there'll be the questions, probably essay or short answer on the test. Okay? Yeah, I was trying to just give you all like 3 or 4 essays, but they had a 5th, so I guess multiple choice. 50 multiple choices. 30 multiple choice and 4. You have 3 hours. It's an essay. Trying to make the essay a bonus, but yeah. But I can tell you all like everything on Wednesday, so you'll have everything on Monday. Exactly how it's set up.
No, I mean for the topic you said, how to create atmosphere for employees.
Yeah, look at page 203 or 204. I just pull it out my head. It's right there.
It's how you create an environment where employees want to come to work.
You see it?
Is that? You see it?
Who page it on? I'm going.
203 or 204?
No, that's not.
I can understand
How do you create an atmosphere?
211.
211. Okay.
211.
Okay, 211.
Whole page.
Yeah, so that'll be our discussion, and then the differences between hierarchy of needs and and we'll do some essay writing just as a refresher in case some of us didn't write an essay for a very long time. Or we just write essays every day.
You just write an essay all day.
You just write an essay every day.
Presentation was pretty much an essay. Right?
What is an essay?
Our presentation the other day was pretty much an essay.
That was an essay. Yeah. Also, we don't need no opening and then we can talk about being needed. So we'll just have a discussion then. So she said, everybody could write essays and everybody could.
No, I could. I mean, we can say that. I mean, no, but I said.
But you just do the presentation.
An essay is. Okay. I'm just putting in your own words.
Yeah, so we'll finish chapter 8 and then we'll talk about the possible, we'll do some review for the midterm. And the midterm will be on Monday. Okay. 2.5 or 2 hours you all should take a deep finish. Yeah, you didn't get it back? You all missed the test given back where you was.
Makes
Oh, you got me wrong.
Anybody else want to give me a copy of that? So, agreement is we can bring out copies of our thing on Wednesday?
Right.
May?
How you pronounce
I know I get down.
Keo. Right, so I one paper here was with Keo on it, so I thought
I know I got the IS 009,000. I got that question wrong.
did you?
I got one of the multiple choice from, I mean, the true and false thing for the skills.
Yeah. I mean, apparently.
Oh my god.
Oh, and crumbs. Yeah, everything's seasoned up.
That's good.
We can stay till 8:30 if you all want to.
That's a good idea.
Miss Rice.
You back in my paper.
No fighting. We just get fighting.
She was fight.
Look at me and look at Miss Rice. You think I'm gonna fight Miss Rice? Just
You might be ambitious.
You just messy.
Oh, me?
Close 9 o'clock. You're coming at 6, right?
Yeah, but I didn't have time to prepare for it.
Oh, the one day. Yeah. How you feel? Let me see.
I've been going it over the weekend. So I don't know if I should do it when I come back.
You won't worry about it on your vacation.
No.
Or you want to have it open. But if you feel like you need more time, because that is a little bit early. I mean, right after the review, something I may say you may need to go study over. So you have to tell me how to get it.
Sleep on it.
Sleep on it.
No, I have to give you another test. So you have to let me
right
know.
now.
I have to pick out questions tonight.
I can do it again.
But you sure you got enough time?
Alright, good night.
A good night. You could even come on a Saturday. You know, they open till 3 on Saturdays.
If I don't do it Thursday, I will be back in Nassau until the 2nd of Sunday. And I'll be a class on the 3rd.
On Monday? Okay. And then that's a holiday weekend. We haven't.
The holiday will be the
following weekend. I don't have the calendar to look at it. I mean, look at the calendar. Let me see how far.
I mean, you don't walk.
Huh?
You back.
The back of the. Or you go in on
Yeah, I know you.
Yeah, so that means you wouldn't take it. And then we having a quiz that week. So yeah. So tomorrow's the only day. What about Friday or Saturday?
I leave on Friday.
Oh, you do not. Yeah. So
Yeah,
tomorrow's the only day.
this is plan. I didn't expect how quick the class would go.
Okay. Yeah. 7 weeks. It's really, really quick. Okay.
So like I have tonight, Tuesday and Wednesday to study.
Okay, but you know some definitions. You know the 10 questions, and then you'll go over the essay. So
I have my possible essay question. As you tell us, I write it
down. Right.
I might be okay. I just getting nervous.
Yeah, by Wednesday, I can give you a good outline. So it wouldn't be too much that you would have to go. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'll give you a shorter version.
Okay.
But you will have at least one essay. They might have 2. Yeah.
Okay. At Omega, I'm almost done. I have 2 more classes there. One of our lecture sheets give us 6 questions and choose 4.
Oh, okay.
Then
That's
2 hours.
Right, I was gonna essay route, but when I tell them that they had a fit, they're like, no, multiple choice. Yeah, so you prefer the essay then, eh? So your 2 essays will work for you, eh?
Yeah, because they either or I'm familiar with multiple choice and short answer essays. They do the 4 essay questions, 25 points each.
Okay.
To make it 100.
But so by Wednesday I know exactly because I'm gonna pick out.
Yeah.
I have 3 papers to pick from. So.
But yeah, I use
I surprised you do so much comfort. It's like, what happened?
You mean for the quiz?
Yeah.
Yeah, the quiz. All the
I am
quizzes.
so used to giving short answers.
But that's why I give you all the short answer for the practice.
I was like, what happened?
No, I wanted to make sure, because sometimes the multiple choice is tricky, but everybody did very well. You know, only 1 or 2 persons didn't pass. I was surprised. But, yeah, for the most part, you all got that. You all we get the definitions down.
I need to study.
Even though our discussions go
I
south,
didn't
and
study.
we at least
Yeah.
we pull it back in and we getting it.
I haven't studied. I didn't study that week.
But you still did well
Yeah.
for not studying. So when you organize your time and you get 200%. When she organized, when she made promises to that hubby and say keep them children and let me focus. She's paying later. And she's getting I was telling them, but they was looking at me like, Miss Bullet, you crazy, you know what? But I tell them, yeah, but done.
Sorry, screw face. You wouldn't think he could fall.
Okay. She conformed and she passed. And instead of her running from the A to B to C and being frazzled and you know, and it didn't help. So just we gotta share. As when we gotta share our testimony so everybody know that it's a better and an easier way. And she come right down and focus on the class and she did well. Yeah. Those options out there, we just
I
they
don't
go.
have any children.
Oh, okay, so you okay. You don't have these struggles. You don't know what you're talking about. Not yet. Okay, good. Good. All right, see y'all on Wednesday. All right.
Enjoy it.
All right, you too. Thank you.